The number one team in the nation moves to 5-0 after a commanding win against Cal Poly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck. We're going to break down South Carolina defeating Cal Poly by a score of 79-36. Steve, this was a beating, if you will, from South Carolina. I mean, the first quarter itself, it was 14-2 once the first quarter was over. It was just a beating throughout. Our kryptonite of South Carolina viewing, if you will, happened once again. Aaliyah Boston only with 21 minutes. What a dang shame that we only got to see her play for that. But during that time, she had a double-double. She found a way to get a double-double with that. 12 points, 10 rebounds. Fantastic game by South Carolina, proving once again why they are the top team in the country.
Yeah, and it's funny. We were just talking off camera here that when I was reading, because I DVR'd the game because I wanted to watch it like in the morning where nothing would disturb me. And we've been watching so many conference tournament games on the men's side that I wanted to focus on this game. Mm-hmm. So I'm reading all of the game recaps, and Dawn Staley, you'd swear to God that they were down, 14-2. In the first quarter, and sure, you're tired, but if you want to win a championship, let's see if I have the quote there for. Let me see. If you want to win a national championship, you got to win on Friday and Sunday. Now, this was a Sunday and Tuesday, but it's the same idea. You've got to win within 48 hours. You've got to win 2 games if you want a national championship. But they came out aggressive. Again, Cal Poly is certainly not even a mid-major power. It's a developing program. I think they scheduled Cal Poly not only because, again, they were going to be in the area having played Stanford, but Dawn Staley remembered that when she first went to South Carolina, how all of the best coaches still scheduled South Carolina because they knew that she was going to develop something. And then I want to say that when she was at Temple, that Tennessee came in there when Pat Summitt was still there and came in there like back-to-back years, so, I think she tries to pay that forward. And even though the students weren't on campus for Cal Poly, the stands were about half full. I mean, the locals wanted to see the number one team in the country, and they certainly did that. Okay, I don't think it even matters that Boston's not playing mega minutes right now. I think it's actually smart.
Oh, for sure.
This is the 4th road game, for them in a row. So, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of tired legs and things like that. So
that is just a selfish woe on my behalf. I just want to see her play all the minutes, but I completely understand why it happens.
Oh, yeah. But then, they scored the first 14 points. They had a stretch in the 3rd and 4th quarter where they scored 24 straight points. So, South Carolina is still South Carolina. Mm-hmm. I get why Dawn Staley was so... I'm so disgusted, and we've got to play better if we want to be a championship team. You're already a championship team, okay? And you showed your heart and soul against Stanford on Sunday because you were down, but you were not out at any given point. So I get what Dawn Staley is trying to do here, mm-hmm. But South Carolina basketball fans, don't read the stories. Just if you haven't watched the game already, just watch the game or go back. To ESPN Plus, and watch the game because it was an ESPN Plus game. And explain to me why. I understand it was playing Cal Poly, but it's the number one team in the country. Why are they not on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, Agreed. ESPN News, ESPN whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you're 100% right. Shout out to Ashlyn Watkins, the freshman, by the way, who had another double-double. So want to make sure we get the double-double shout out on that one. 79-36. The Dawn Staley comments, you talk about you think they were losing at one point in time. That's how champions are born. That's why you won the national championship and you are looking to be the same team to repeat. So I will say, if there's anything that you could take away from this game, they didn't shoot well from the 3-point line. They shot only 26%. They shot 3 from 11. That could improve, but they didn't need to really focus on it because they were winning by such a large margin. As for this team, another Sunday, Tuesday, if you will, Steve, they're going to take on Hampton back at home. Noon on Sunday, SEC Network Plus. That'll also be on ESPN Plus. Hampton versus South Carolina, and then On Tuesday, a big one. This should be another good game. UCLA comes into town, number 20 in the nation right now. You could see that probably moving up. They haven't lost a game yet. Right now, 6-0, taking on 5-0. Should be a really good matchup. I think UCLA should give them a pretty decent competition, if you will. I don't think it's going to be a Stanford, South Carolina game, but it could be a Maryland, South Carolina game as well. We don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit in the middle, though. I think that this UCLA team has the potential to be better than Maryland. I don't think they're anywhere near that. Stanford, South Carolina should take care of it. But again, if Don Staley's still holding them accountable to certain things, maybe we will see them just go completely all out on this one and show why they are the best team in the nation.
Oh, absolutely. And then just to jump in real quick, against UCLA, they're also going to have to improve their foul shooting, because odds are UCLA is going to be willing to get some of their players in foul trouble relatively early to force them to the line so that South Carolina cannot take control of the tempo of the game early on. Again, it's still early. These things can get worked out. And at this point, when you're talking about South Carolina women's basketball, you're having to nitpick. You're having to say, oh, well, on this jump shot, she didn't really have the arc. We're going into such minuscule minutia on these games. But you said 3-point shooting's not there yet.
Yep.
I would be more concerned about the free throw shooting, because I believe that teams are going to be willing to rotate players in and send them to the line until they can prove that they can hit those free throws.
That's a really good point. As for UCLA, they've already beat a few ranked opponents. Tennessee was one of them. I know Tennessee is looking like a little rough at the early of the season, but they won by 17, 80-63. They also beat South Dakota State, who was ranked at one point, and then they also beat Marquette, who has beat a few ranked opponents themselves. This UCLA team is battle tested. So that's something to keep in mind moving into this game. Something that we couldn't say about Stanford at the beginning of the season. We obviously know the success of Stanford, but UCLA has already played some of these top teams, at least according to the AP. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this South Carolina game against Cal Poly? Do you agree with the Don Staley comments? Do you think that was warranted? What do you think about their 3-point shooting or their free throw shooting? And how do you feel about them against UCLA coming up at the end of the month? Let us know all in the comments below. While you're there, hit like and share. And thank you as always for watching SlasherU.